Good day, all. Welcome to another Raw Elected Official edition on locallegislator.net, where our mission is to be the premier source of local election information in the United States and an advocate for the sustainability of local businesses nationwide. If you've ever wondered what the Commissioner of the Revenue does in your town, your municipality, and you haven't a clue, our guest today is going to enlighten all of us. Welcome, Tiffany Boyle. She is the Newport News Commissioner of the Revenue and also the District Chair of the Commissioners of the Revenue Association of the Hampton Roads area of Virginia. Welcome, Ms. Boyle.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good. And listen, we're going to jump right into this thing. We know you're a very busy person, and we simply want to get the information out there to educate the people who don't know, such as myself. So what was your inspiration to become Commissioner of the Revenue?
Plain and simple, I actually worked in the office before, years before I became commissioner. I was an accounting technician in the business license department. At that time, getting to know the employees, getting to know exactly what the Commissioner of Revenue does, I suggested a lot of things that I felt we could do better, or we could make improvements on, or we could do more outreach to the citizens. Needless to say, it didn't get done. So I moved on, went on to other parts of my life. And then 5 years later, an employee of the office actually reached out to me and asked me to run when they found out my predecessor was retiring.
And what are your exact responsibilities of your office?
To administer and assess the local taxes. So in Newport News, we have 23 different taxes that we assess. Also to do revenue projections for the city, and just to make sure everything's being fair and equitable.
That's interesting. 23 taxes. I never knew that.
Yeah.
I would ask you to run them all down, but I'm not going to put you on the spot like that.
Well, I could do the most popular one is personal property. The ones that we pay on our vehicles, that's the one that most people know about.
Yeah, I think we all know about that one. Now, why is the Commissioner of the Revenue an elected office and not appointed?
So I am actually going to quote my late Commissioner of Revenue, Charles Croson. He's the one who hired me years ago. And he stated in 1993, elected officials are accountable to the public and, in this case, provide an appropriate balance of power between the interests of the taxpayers and the city. So, and I agree with that 100%.
I guess that sums it right on up, doesn't it? Wow, and you know what? That's why we do what we do here at Local Legislator as well, to hold elected officials accountable for what they say.
Yeah.
So very well, very well. City council and school boards are unofficially, or officially rather, nonpartisan as compared to the Commissioner of the Revenue, where you can list a party affiliation. How do you think a connection to a party affects the election of a Commissioner of the Revenue?
So again, the purpose of being elected by the people is to represent all constituents, not just those in a certain party affiliation. And while city council and school board are nonpartisan, they do look to different parties for support. Some might not. So as constitutional officers we are party affiliated. Our party affiliation is not on the general ballot. So therefore, you really don't know, during the general elections, if we are Democrat or Republican or independent or libertarian or any of those. And it's just the process, the election process.
Which can be quite cumbersome indeed. As District Chair of the Commissioners of the Revenue Association of Hampton Roads, Virginia, could you share some of the differences between cities and counties?
Yes. So there are tons of differences. We all follow the State Code of Virginia, the Constitution of Virginia, but even within that, it gives local governing bodies a difference on how to assess certain things. So I think the biggest thing for us is counties are our election cycles. Counties run in 2023 and cities run in 2021. So we're off every 2 years. That's one big thing. Another difference I find is that most counties do like a merchant's capital tax whereas most cities do a BPOL tax, a business professional occupancy license, which some people know as a business license. And then there are plenty of other differences, like minor things like forms, how we handle certain situations. Tax rates, of course, are different. Maybe machinery and tools, things of that matter.
Now you mentioned business license, but you didn't call it that. What did you call it?
It's a business professional occupancy license, so BPOL is what we call it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I'm gonna
So
have to
if
put
you
that
Google
behind
BPOL,
my
you're
title.
gonna find business license per se. You're gonna find BPOL.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I never knew that before. I guess I'm a B-pole holder.
Yeah.
That sounds a bit more prestigious than just a business license holder. Now, explain to us, what are some of the responsibilities as chair of this association?
So, as chair, it is to preside and facilitate our meetings in the Hampton Roads area. And so, there's a bigger organization. The Commissioner of Revenue Association of Virginia is the big one. And then we're broken up into districts so we can focus on, our regional commissioner of revenues and regional policies, things of that matter. So Hampton Roads has one, and I became chair December last year. So it was very exciting.
Congratulations.
And so really, like I said, facilitate, preside over the meetings, ensure we have like a treasurer's report, our secretaries taking minutes, really figure out all of the things that we're going through as commissioners in the Hampton Roads area, talk about different topics, make sure we're continue learning about new policies, new laws, things of that matter.
And how have you innovated your office?
So we have, and I'm so proud to say, we've done many things since I've been here in 2018. But I want to say our biggest thing is really we have our first ever grievance policy amongst constitutional officers here in Newport News. So that was a really big one. We have innovated our outreach program. I think we take that to a whole nother level. We started things like Commissioner in Cans Food and Fun Drive, which is a food drive where we actually work with all the Commissioner of Revenues and the Federation of the Food Bank of Virginia the first 2 weeks of February and really try to fight hunger during that time. Within my office itself, we do things called the lead tour, where we go to meet different business owners, take a tour of their business, really talk with them to see how the taxes that we're assessing, how it affects them. And then if they have any concerns, then, I can act like a liaison between them and maybe a delegate or senator or city council and bring that back to them. We also have this thing, one of my favorites called Commissioner's Cash, where we created like a big dollar bill and we take it around to different schools and we have the kids. It's kind of like their business license. So we talk to them about goals. We talk to them about what do they want to do when they get older. And then some of them know they want to have a business. Some of them are like, well, I don't want to have a business. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do? And how can you turn that into owning your own business? We ask how much money they think they're going to need. That is always interesting. It goes from $1 to $1,000,000 to $10 million. You never know, but that's one of my favorites. So just different outreach programs like that is how we've innovated the office.
Well, I would tell you, all of my schooling days, I don't ever remember the Commissioner of the Revenue coming to our classes and sharing who they are, what they do, much less to present a big dollar bill that we're going to remember forever. That is so neat. Now let me ask you along those lines. Do you go to all of the schools in Newport News or in Hampton Roads? Or how does that work? And then from the business standpoint, how do you choose what businesses to go to?
So we have not been to all the schools in Newport News only. I have been at a school in Hampton twice. It's really upon request, so career days, things like that. For businesses, we usually research. We try to target a business in each district, within Newport News, and we're broken down like into three: north, central, and south. So we try to visit as many as we can. That also is upon request. Sometimes people say, hey, we'd love the commissioner to come meet us and take a tour. Just things of that matter. Mhm.
Really, I never even knew that was an option. That is too cool. Now, let me ask you two more questions for you, Ms. Boyle. What are the best and worst aspects of your position? the best and worst aspects of your position.
So the best, of course, is really getting to talk to taxpayers, getting to figure out how we can help them better. Going back to innovation, we are working on a new IT system so that way our business owners can be able to pay online. So that should be coming out this year, and then we'll eventually move into personal property. So that should be next year. That's like one of the best things is really getting to see all of the goals that I have aspired for this office to really come to fruition and how it can help the taxpayers, listening to them and, putting that into our day-to-day activity. The worst part of it is really just like going through things like this, the pandemic that kind of hit everybody, and we had to change our business practices. We had to close our doors to the public, where we're slowly starting to open them back up, but of course with safety measures. So it's not the same, correspondence and relationship that we can have with our taxpayers or even amongst each other, within the office. So we used to do potlucks and have get-togethers, and now we had to stop all of that. So that's probably the worst part.
Now, along those lines, what do you consider the easiest and the hardest part of your position?
Easiest part is just relationships. Just coming in and saying hi to everybody, and just getting to laugh and do those things. That's the easiest part. The hardest part is really trying to figure out. I would like something done in a certain time frame, but of course we're with the government, so the government doesn't move as fast as I would like it to. Just even look at it like the IT process, they've all been super great. I would have liked it done yesterday. But of course, you have to work out kinks, you got to work out making sure it goes with the code, all of that, and then just trying to learn the code of Virginia. I would love to memorize all of the different code sections and have it off the top of my head like some of my fellow commissioners. But it's a day-to-day progress, and I'm sure 5 years from now I'll have it down pat.
Be right on the top of your head. You can run it
Yeah,
off just like that. Oh, Ms. Boyle, it has indeed been a pleasure to talk to you today. We hope our listeners are enlightened by the 15 minutes of education you've given us. I know personally, I did not know a lot of the things you just shared with us. So I feel honored to have had a chance to talk with you. And thank you very much for your time. And I hope that you can come back and see us again.
of course, yes.
Okay. Well, all our listeners out there, we are locallegislator.net. If you are an elected official out there, you happen to run a nonprofit, you're a community leader, you happen to be involved with the protests or anything else that's going on out here, and you'd like to share some of your views, please give us a call. Reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or Instagram. And go to our website. And again, Ms. Boyle, I hope you were able to fill out your profile on our website. It's already been set up for you. We simply ask 8 questions. We hope you answer those questions so the people looking at our website can get to know more about you and what you do and offer to the community, because I never knew about those things you were talking about. That is fantastic indeed. Again, I'm Charles Gates. Thank you for your time. Remember, we're not global, we are local. Locallegislator.net. And if you like what you see, please leave a comment, please leave a chat. If you'd like to get in touch with us, we're easy to reach out to. And again, thank you for your time. And Ms. Boyle, you have a lovely day along with our listeners. Thank you very much. Take care.